Hey everyone, Strainers103 here today with yet another replay cast. We're looking at a Lexington replay here from PRNA Hentai Ist Art. I think it's like Hentai Is and Hentai Ist. I'm not even sure what's going on. But we're in Lexington against a Enterprise, which can be incredibly annoying with the 43 total fighters of the Enterprise. And it's a tier 10 game. Lots of destroyers though, but of course that advantage only just further goes into the Enterprise. We also have a Harikaze and a Lol Yang, although Lol Yang is probably running Hydro and Enterprise is providing additional support, with Harikaze likely being in a semi-anti-aircraft build. So, well, what's the Lexington nowadays about? Well, it doesn't really have much going for it now, does it? Not against an Enterprise. You get one fighter squadron, you can try to do head-on strafings, and I mean, that depends on the enemy Enterprise basically feeding you, so in the end, in this kind of a situation, if he wants to go for any of these destroyers and they don't have defensive, they're screwed, they're on their own, there's not really much you can do about it. So really what matters is trying to make the most amount of damage as you can out of your planes, and well, in this case we have AP dive bombers, and there's a grand total of 1 ship that you can go for with them, so we kind of got screwed with that, and this is just why I don't suggest running AP dive bombers. I just don't think it's that useful. Anyways, to read out the email, this is me struggling against an Enterprise division. I'm slow at micromanaging, and having one fighter squad in the air versus his 2 fighter squads is a pain. Looking for feedback to know how I can do better, especially against 2 fighter squad CVs. Alright. The first thing really is, first of all, you're going to be having to strike focus more. As a US carrier, you do have some potentially high amounts of strike. Not so much in this game. I mean, if the enemy Des Moines clan battle spec or something silly, I mean, this is a replay from a while back, so I don't think this was a clan battle season at this point. But, you know, if he defensives or isn't paying attention or you approach from behind when he's busy shooting, there's a small chance you can click him away with AP dive bombers, but wouldn't count on it. Anyways, we pressure the enemy carrier away from an opening B strike. We know where his stuff is. No point without the torpedo bomber. We need to pull it. We should pull that back so we don't get the get our destroyer spotted. We're making a very good decision here to chase the enemy's torpedo bombers over chasing his fighters, because we're never going to be able to do that. This fighter need to pull back because we don't want to take a tag here. It looks like the enemy carrier is doing a funky strafing, so he's actually screwed himself. Ooh, we're trying for a counter strafe. Is it early enough? It is very late, and it was slightly poorly placed. We unfortunately don't get a good one, and well, we're going for the big squad. Tagging the big squad. Ooh, is that a... I wouldn't really bother... Oh, very good strafe. And he's counter-strafing us, though. But it's not going to be a big deal here. We could have counter-strafed again. Very well handled over there. The enemy... like we said with the slow micro, we did lose 3 of our torpedo bombers. But we full wiped the enemy's... one of the fighter squadrons. Granted, at this point, like, Hugo was kind of on his own. But we actually have an opportunity to strike now. We can use our fighter to pressure his remaining fighter. And we can look around for the shimmy with our torpedo bombers. This enemy fighter over there is pretty much combat ineffective, because 4 versus currently 5 is not in his favor, because 4 versus 5 and we have superior fighters individually. Anyways, look, the shimmy is rapidly advancing in the opposite direction, and we're moving fighters over to try to help the Yugomo, but there's nothing we can do about that. This shimmy is actually exposed, and looks like the enemy carrier is looking to either cycle or to make a move, so we could potentially have dropped on the enemy shimmy. Looks like the Enterprise screwed up his drop against the Yugomo as well, so that is a little bit of a spot of luck for us. But again, our AP dive bombers here are pretty much being useless, because they can't kill these guys' anti-aircraft, they can't kill this guy's AA most importantly, and they can't really reliably kill him himself either. Now I wouldn't say going for the Harikaze is a good idea, because he is in the division with the enemy carrier, so the enemy carrier is going to be fully supporting him. So I think this is kind of just a throwaway series of planes here, and if we line ourselves up for a strafe, it's just generally not going to yield good results for us, so we might as well just cycle this and try to make a move, and, you know, overall try to achieve something else with them. So we decided to cycle our fighters instead of pushing the attack, so we also bleed a few planes to the Montana's defensive, dual purpose even. So, again, we're kind of just loitering around, and, you know, another part of the downside of not having HE dive bombers, we can't actually click destroyers, for example. Looks like the enemy carrier is mucking around with our dive bombers. We're kind of baiting him with our dive bombers. That's not good. That's... Oh, yeah, it looks like... No, go straight north, there you go. So, this is basically playing with fire right now with the enemy's fighters. I mean, granted, we can get lucky with rear gunners. We can get lucky with Yamato maybe sniping one, but it's not something I would rely or count on. Now, we actually have concealment expertise on this Lexington, which is a very useful thing to have. So we're up to a actually decent 13 kilometer concealment. And it looks like we're committing the dive bombers on this Montana. He has been taking a little bit of damage, and the enemy carrier was attacking, so chances are he wasn't paying attention. This looks like a little bit of an underlead drop. It's going a little bit on the back end of him, so we only managed to pick up 1 full pen plus 2 overpens, I think. And the squads are going to get himself fully wiped. So that is a bit unfortunate, but not much you can do about that. Nothing really. I mean, that guy is clearly spec'd for some kind of anti-aircraft, and I mean, if this is the NA server like I think it is, then chances are it's an incredibly heavily anti-aircraft spec'd Montana, because, you know, NA seems to have this extreme tendency to do very extreme things. It's like either full or nothing. I have even seen, you know, survivability expert secondary autos, secondary Montanas, like, yeah, you know it's NA server when that happens. Anyways, we can move our carrier around in this kind of a direction. It's unlikely that anyone's really trying to make a play down here, and we can always find out if someone is, and whoa, that's a lot of fish. So, yeah. Now, launching our fighters again, we're, he's bleeding a little bit, but it's not going to be too big of a bleed, but we have a really significant blob view, so we can take advantage of this blob to try to make moves. But we do need to try to deal with the shimmy over there. We could potentially send our single torpedo bomber to the shimmy, and there we go. Looks like we're looking for that, and then use our dive bombers to go look for the enemies. You know, targets to actually click on, because there's a good chance that the enemy carrier is going to be trying to chase our dive bombers over, trying to chase our fighters. We can actually go for tag over here in a way if it's under the Grosser anti-aircraft, but we are kind of being spotted by the Hurricanes at the moment, but it doesn't seem like he has really good AA, so I wouldn't say he's too big of a threat. And there you go, we find the shimmy, so we should be moving our fighters up there. Yeah, those weren't going to work. But at this point, we can see the fighter is coming, so the reaction is a torpedo bomber here, fighter here. That way we can avoid it getting caught, because we don't really want to be getting it caught. Anyways, we're forcing the drop, and you want to fly it through. You don't want to do like this, because he's just going to strafe. So we get lucky that it doesn't strafe, but now we need to kind of micro this and watch out for his strafing, and the shimmy's never going to achieve anything there, but we can pretty much write that torpedo bomber squadron off. Instead, it's better for us to chase this, and I would not go strafing at it. I would just sit there and auto-tag it. Don't worry, that's my team speak. I would just sit there and auto-tag this, because there is a fair bit of anti-aircraft over there. I mean, if you want, you could put a strafing now, but basically, now you just untag, and there you go, there's a strafe. A little bit too late, the full torpedo drop will be going through, but we react correctly there, so it is the absolute correct thing to do. The plane is spotting us, but in 2 minutes we're going to go invisible to that, and this is where we start getting the ability to become dangerous. As the shimmy actually ends up taking a spotted torpedo. This is where we start becoming dangerous, because we now have the ability to strike in the Cyclone. So does, of course, theirs, but we can start making, attacks without being, spotted. Anyways, fighters can go, again, try to intercept the stuff over there. Remember, allied anti-aircraft, it's unlikely to focus anything other than strike planes, so tagging the fighters here is a bad move in general, and we actually get clipped by the strafing there, but we're going for the counter strafe. It's a little bit too late, so unless he flies in a straight line for a good chunk, he's not going to feed us too much, but he actually fed us a lot, so we can just go for the tag on his fighter. If he's... But we need to be careful over there. Just auto-drop the Ithmo and then move our fighters, because we cannot afford to lose this fighter right now. It looks like we disengage straight to the side instead of just disengaging straight away. So we go for the tag there and then immediately disengage straight out. This is definitely not a bad move. And our AP bombers are going for the Ithmo, but it's an Ithmo, it's not going to be too much damage. And again, we're throwing away some strike planes just to try to get some damage in. 15k damage is definitely not the world's best. He's strafing now, so we need to try to evade that. I'm pretty sure he's strafing. No, it failed and he missed, so we just need to keep running and it shouldn't be getting caught. And there you go. And, well, there you go. Oh, no, I'd just fly that towards a Moskva, because in 33 seconds, the Cyclone's going to fully hit, and we're moving our ship now, so that's fair as well. This cover might need some help, but in general, our team's in a pretty decently strong position area, so we just need to now start focusing on trying to deal with Ibuki and the shimmy, and if you have a torpedo bombers loaded, and we can, hit the shimmy, if we have a... Normally what you want to do is to send, in a Cyclone like this, one plane past the target first, so you can get a complete visual spot on him, then send your torpedo bombers onto him to get the drop while he's spotting. Just fly the plane past him, make him think he's, make him think that something is going on, or make him want to turn, or commit to a turn. You can get your torpedo bombers, which are 3 kilometers unspotted. Remember this. In Cyclone, any plane farther than 3 kilometers away will not be spottable and attackable if Wargaming didn't break anything. It's Wargaming, they probably did. Anyways, Shimmy is clearly aware of the plane now, and he's turning in to evade it, which is definitely the right thing to do. If the Shimmy's smart, he'll away turn right now. Ooh, and there you go, he is. So we react to that as well, and we don't go for the drop. We need to remember, though, that the longer we loiter here, the higher the chance the enemy carrier has to get his fighters over here. That's... ooh, I'm not sure about that. I don't think he's going to do too much, because he's just going to be able to maintain a turn on it, so he's just going to slip through. And there we go. If he takes that, it's going to be incredibly lucky, but he doesn't, so it's pretty much a result as expected. But we spotted him temporarily for the Kaba, so he knows what's up with the Kaba, and if he did, try to torpedo and whatnot. Enemy carriers flying into the blob over there, we just have to hope our Moskva is dealing with it. But now with the Cyclone, enemy anti-aircraft just got majorly weaker, but we're kind of being deplaned of strike here as well. We have been bleeding quite a bit of our strike planes. That's kind of just the advantages of the other carriers in this sense. You don't really have too much to feed overall with 72 aircraft. So that's something I didn't actually notice was the Cyclone until it was too late. So as a comment to that, if you do know that this is going to be a Cyclone coming in this kind of a situation, using the Cyclone to your advantage definitely is one of the things you should be doing, as the Kaba actually torps down a Benson. Now that's a bit of a shocker, but as you can see, you don't spot the planes until they're literally on top of you. So if you're able to use this to your advantage and make your planes appear on someone's head, drop him and then F right off again, or on the other hand, if you can anticipate who's going to come under attack, and in this case it is likely Musashi because he's exposed on his own. So if we can keep our planes like kind of just to the side, so in this case, let me just take camera control. If we keep our fighters like here, the moment the Musashi gets spotted, the enemy carrier is likely attacking from this side. We can basically show up on the opposite side, go for a head-on strafing, and bleed his planes. And remember, Enterprise does not have the highest amount of strike replacements either, so it's definitely not too bad of a situation to be in that sense. Because when it is down to Cyclones, it really is just down to whoever gets lucky with catching the enemy planes, or whoever is making the most obvious move possible. Now we have a Kerfus and a Montana. The Montana's not going to be a big deal, especially if we attack from behind him, and I wouldn't send the planes like this. Just sending them, because we know the Montana is here, right? You can see on the map he's in the cap. So we basically, there you go, so fire them like this, straight up there, and hit either the Montana or the Kerfus. If we hit the Kerfus, we want to hit up there, and there you go. This is why we wanted to keep the fighters kind of like here, because the moment the Musashi gets spotted by planes, we just go, oh, torpedo, he's going to drop from the side, strafing, straight into his face, and there's literally nothing he can do to evade it. Looks like he finds us, but that's a waste of effort from him. We get an AP bomb drop that does a little bit of damage, but hey. And there you go, as you can see, our Susi just being attacked right now. And oh dear, it looks like the enemy carrier actually got a strafing through there. He was trying to head on strafe our retreat path, but he's going to bleed to the Montana. So we just need to keep our plane in range of the Montana, and just keep, basically, what you want to do is to keep the plane literally on top of the guy, on top of his fighters, because that'll completely prevent him from being able to do any kind of strafings whatsoever. Anyways, more stuff coming in. We can just tell our fighter to tag that right underneath the Montana. Good drop against the Kerfus. That's going to be a full hit. And there you go, counter-tag right now. Strafing is kind of a waste of ammo, because he can kind of try to evade it. But in this case, he screws up and feeds us the entirety of the squadron. So that's a spot of luck. And we've turned ourselves back into the face of a shimmy. So, hey, yeah, this is kind of what happens when you go circling. So this is kind of just unfortunate carrier movement. Wasn't really paying attention to that myself. We need a hard intern him right now. Lexington secondaries are not the world's best overall, but let me see which side of the ship. Yeah, we need to be showing our starboard as much as possible to get our 5-inch 38 mounts up on target as well. The ones in the 2-gun turrets. Actually no, the coax. But in the twin turrets, we need to try to commit them as well. And in the Cyclone, he definitely launched torpedoes on our fully committed turn right now. So I mean, we're pretty much screwed because we're also sailing to an Ibuki. That might actually look like a decent drop if he's gonna accelerate into it, but oh, he actually takes it. So I'm pretty sure that's a dead shimmy, because the next salvo of secondaries is likely to take him out, even if he does torpedo right now. Did he not have torpedoes, or did he want to try to gun us down? Yeah, it looks like we get away with that. We might as well press R right now, but ooh, yeah, the Ibuki's gonna torp though, so it's kind of unfortunate. So now, there you go, damage control partying. We're also tagging onto the enemy's torpedo bombers. We should right now just tell our fighters to escort the Masushi, because that actually might result in us actually being able to continue to defend. Or we can also, we're placing the strafing before we die. We're definitely gonna die, but we're placing the strafing, so that looks like we might get a couple of additional planes on the way home too. Can we get more? Nope. But still, that's a pretty decent result overall to get out of the end of this. 30 planes shot down is not too bad. Not really with our own anti-aircraft. The enemy team really kind of threw themselves away at the end, and our Musashi is not happy about this Enterprise at all. So he's gonna go insert gun and give this Enterprise a really, really bad day. With high explosives. If he had shot AP, I mean, he could potentially have wiped it. And Moskva shooting AP at the bow of the Enterprise, that's 19mm. It's not going to do anything, my friend. So, yeah, it's kind of wasted. It would need to be like 14mm for the Moskva to be able to lull pen through the bow. Anyways, it looks like it's going to be a win, which really didn't look like in the beginning. However, our team consolidated during the Cyclone, and the enemy team kind of fed themselves away one by one. But overall, our team kind of, they grouped up nicely so we could try to use their anti-aircraft to make defenses. We also got some incredibly good counter-strafing opportunities, very well handled there, actually. So, you saying you have slow micromanagement is definitely being compensated for by incredibly high-skilled tactics with your aircraft. So that's very, very well done there. We just need to be careful that being too aggressive with our fighters in this situation can result in bad luck and, him dodging it and then counter-strafing us and whatnot. So we definitely have to be careful about that. But we more than held our own with our fighters in this situation. It was actually incredibly well played and enjoyable to watch in that way. And we actually get another plane on the way. I'm not even sure where that came from. I guess it was Ibuki's float plane or something. But yeah, with that, it really, when it comes to Enterprise, or in a situation where you're playing against a fighter setup, what you want to be doing is do your level best to deny the enemy's ability to strike. What you want to be focusing on is to not their fighters, because you're not going to bleed them down, or if you do bleed them down, it's just, not going to be useful, and he's going to eventually come back at you and kill your stuff later on, and stuff like that. What you want to do is to focus exclusively on their strike. Ignore everything that isn't their strike. It's just fireworks and, for show. As long as you can deny his strike and make him come to you with his fighters. Make him fly over your Montanas. Make him fly over your battleships. Make him fly over your cruisers with his fighters. And if you can kill his strike, and this is the thing, people will, unless they're in your division when you tell them to, they will 99% of the times focus strike planes over fighters. And if they're not paying attention, their anti-aircraft will automatically focus fighters last. They'll focus the closest loaded plane automatically, then the closest plane, and then the unloaded aircraft, and then fighters. So just be aware of that. Regardless, CQCX spinning down the shimmy down. If he had torpedoes, he would have easily wiped us, but I guess he didn't, so we actually get a 3 second and a kill off that. Good torpedo drop on him as well. That definitely made the difference between him getting away or not. And that kind of would have prevented him from coming up along making some more torpedo plays, but our team had been long gone, so the shimmy was kind of irrelevant. We could potentially have just continued running a Lexington along, and we could potentially even have used a Lexington as an anti-aircraft tank, but hey, that's incredibly risky play when it comes to enemy ships, but hey, we knew most of them were behind us. That's something to consider later on. Just trying to comment on carrier gameplay like this. If you notice it with the past few carrier gameplays, there's so many things I want to comment on. I end up exclusively commenting on the airfight and ignoring the ship and everything else going around on the map. I just don't have the time to comment on everything. Here we are, Wall of Washington is a slow game, and I'm struggling to keep up, and everyone knows I talk incredibly fast. So yes, to summarize, well handled with the fighters. We definitely could have realized with the Cyclone earlier and try to save our planes to make attacks during the Cyclone to try to get more damage in, because Cyclone reduces air spotting to 3 kilometers, so that your planes can't see anything more than 3 kilometers away, your ships can't see planes more than 3 kilometers away, and that gives you the opportunity to just have your aircraft literally show up in someone's face, drop the torpedoes, and then disappear off into the distance laughing out loud, while the enemy fighters are sitting there thinking, hey, what am I supposed to be doing? We're late to the party again. So, of course, this works both ways, so it really is a matter of trying to think as far ahead as possible. Think which ship is which of your ships have their positions known. This is important, because if the enemy carrier doesn't know where it is in a without the Cyclone, chances are he's going to have a harder time finding it during the Cyclone with the 3 kilometers acquisition. So, figure out where he's going for, figure out what he's most likely to go for, and keep your planes close enough that you can instantly react and defend, but not close enough that he's going to spot your plane before he spots the target. So when he is committing himself to attack the target, you come in, strafe your stuff away, and then again vanish off into the distance, laughing out loud. And again, if he's not fast enough to react to that, or if he's committed, he's going to bleed his planes. You'll do a little bit of defense, and if you didn't have fighters scouting ahead first, and if you, in this case, if you see fighters scouting out ahead first, you literally just pull your fighter away, don't get it spotted, ignore it. So, he's basically moving fighters in the spot, the enemy target, he goes for the commit, you come in out of the void, strafe, and, kill all his torpedo bombers, for example, and then tag the enemy fighter in anti-aircraft. If you want to disengage, strafe to run away from the anti-aircraft, because that's a fight he's not going to win. If there are no more strike planes nearby, then you basically just, strafe, counter-strafe, and you know how to do that, it appears. So use the counter-strafe, strafe him to death as he tries to run away, because your planes are slightly faster, and your planes have more than enough DPS when he's locked into a counter-strafing, or into an exit strafe, and you just wipe his stuff for free. So don't be afraid to do that. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this Lexington replay. I think it's much more educational than the AP Bomber Alpha damage crap and the rant from the previous one. I hope you find this useful. If you do end up in the situation where you are grinding a carrier with one fighter against the enemies with two, try to keep this in mind as much as possible. It really does make it really does make the way you have to do it, and of course you can't always hope for Cyclone, and if you can't hope for Cyclone, you just have to be passive, focus on the enemy's strike planes, find the enemy strike planes, figure out what he wants to attack, and exclusively use your fighters to mind game the enemy strike planes, and try to deny his ability to strike. At that point, the enemy carrier basically has two options. One, dedicate fighters to his attacks, in which case when he attacks, you get a free attack, or he's going to be trying to do the exact same thing to you, using his fighters to stop you from getting attacks, in which case none of you guys are doing anything and you get an incredibly boring game. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this replay cast. I think I'll do one more carrier replay and then call carrier week over. We'll see what we publish in terms of content after that, who knows. Hope you guys enjoyed this, take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.